The term murder hobo usually gets thrown around like an insult. You know, the type, no backstory, no morals, no remorse, just a rusty axe, a fast initiative roll, and a strong urge to solve every social encounter with a body count. But what if I told you that in the right context, a murder hobo might actually be good for the game? Now, I'm not talking about the power gaming murder hobos who bulldoze the rest of the group or ruin roleplay with constant "I stab him" interruptions. I've had one of those. Those players suck. I'm talking about the laid-back chaos gremlin kind, the ones who bring levity, challenge assumptions, and occasionally do something brilliant beneath their blood-soaked exterior. Hello folks, welcome to the DM Lair. I'm Luke Hart, and on this channel I share my nearly 30 years of Game Master experience so that you can run amazing games that your players will love. And today we're diving into 5 reasons that a little bit of murder hoboing might actually help your D&D game. You know, one of the things that really annoys me about Kickstarters? Stretch goals. Look, we all know they're a scam. 95% of all projects literally have the stretch goal content completed before they launch. And then they manipulate the stretch goal targets based on project velocity or past project performance to ensure they hit them. It's all a song and a dance, and it's stupid. That's why for my next Kickstarter, Feybound, Trickery of the Wilds, we have already pre-stretched the book to make it the biggest, baddest, Fey-themed expansion for D&D 5e ever created. No ridiculous stretch goals. We're giving you everything we possibly can out of the gate. A sprawling Fey campaign setting, 6 vibrant new player races, 10 wildly creative subclasses, a treasure trove of magic items, dynamic Fey gameplay mechanics, over 100 twisted and unforgettable monsters, and Escape from the Fey, a level 5 to 11 adventure module featuring 12 full-length story-rich adventures. Look, if you're a dungeon master or player, you got to have Feybound, Trickery of the Wilds in your collection. It will help you bring the chaos, whimsy, and wilds of the Fey to life in your games. Follow it right now on Kickstarter at the link below because it launches soon and we're gonna have early backer specials for just the first few days only that you won't want to miss. Number 1, murder hobos create a moral contrast with other characters. A good party is made of contrasts. Loud and quiet, reckless and careful, murder hobo and paladin. When you've got one character who wants to kill first and ask questions never, it forces the rest of the group to define their own ethics in response. Take this one session I ran. The party had cornered a cultist ringleader who was begging for his life. The bard wanted to question him. The cleric wanted to bring him to justice. And before they could just decide, the barbarian just wham, buried his axe in the guy's skull. It was chaos. And then it was drama. The bard yelled, the cleric gave a sermon, and suddenly the party had a serious talk about how they wanted to approach future moral dilemmas. That kind of tension, it's gold. It gets people thinking about alignment, consequences, and how their characters want to handle the gray areas. Murder hobos in that sense are the match that sets those conversations ablaze. Number 2, murder hobos create a challenge for other players. One of the best murder hobos I ever had at the table was a dwarven fighter named Brick. Brick's solution to everything was violence, and not the thoughtful kind. The party's rogue would sneak up to eavesdrop. The bard would prepare a brilliant deception. The cleric would offer diplomacy, and then Brick would yell, "I charge," and kick in the nearest door. The group hated it, and yet they also loved it, because here's what happened. The other players started planning around Brick. The bard learned to keep him distracted during tense negotiations. The rogue would scout extra far ahead to keep him from getting bored. And the cleric? She started carrying 2 healing spells labeled for Brick and for everyone else. That kind of player dynamic doesn't come from careful story arcs. It comes from navigating each other's chaos in character. As long as the conflict stays friendly, a murder hobo forces the other players to think creatively, make tough calls, and adapt to wild behavior without derailing the story. Murder hobos like this aren't just a headache. They're a problem the players get to solve together. Number 3, murder hobos prompt consequences that enrich the world. Let me tell you about a halfling barbarian named Stabbers. Stabbers murdered a noble's cousin over an insult about his height. Just snapped one day and threw a steak knife right through the guy's eye in the middle of a dinner party. Classic murder hobo move. Now, I could have just hand waved it and moved on, but instead I made the noble furious. Within 2 sessions, there were bounty posters with Stabber's face on them all over the kingdom. Guards doubled at city gates, a rival adventuring party was hired to bring him in alive, and the innkeeper, who had been the party's friend, turned them away, too afraid of harboring fugitives. You see, the world reacted to the players. Murder hobos are walking opportunities for consequence. They give the game master a way to show how the setting responds to player behavior. A single reckless act can ripple outward, reshaping alliances, creating enemies, and dragging the whole party into a deeper, more dynamic story. All because one short barbarian couldn't take a joke. By the way, if you think this video doesn't completely suck, why not hit that thumbs up button and subscribe? Drop me a comment to appease the bloodthirsty algorithm. You know, all the stuff you're supposed to do as a responsible citizen. Number 4, murder hobos keep the table guessing. There's always one. In one game, it was a tiefling rogue named Scrap, who never met a door she didn't want to kick down, or a conversation she didn't want to interrupt with a knife. The party would be mid-negotiation with a duke trying to delicately navigate court politics, and Scrap would blurt out, "You want me to kill him or nah?" Total murder hobo energy. But here's the thing. It kept the game moving. Murder hobos inject unpredictability into a session. They force the players and the game master to stay on their toes. If the plot's dragging, if things are slowing down, boom, murder hobo lights a fuse. If the game master is rambling through a 5-minute history lesson, the murder hobo might just throw a firebomb at a statue and shout, "Oops." They might derail the plan, sure, but they're never boring. And that chaos can be exactly what a game needs when it starts to feel too predictable or slow. Kind of like how I was getting those words out of my mouth. Get those things out of my mouth. I'm telling you, talking is hard some days, guys. It really is. Love them or fear them, a murder hobo will do something. And sometimes that's the best possible gift to a stagnating session. Number 5, a good-natured murder hobo can be hilarious. Let me tell you about Gus. He was a barbarian who once tried to interrogate a goblin by shouting, "Tell me your secrets," while shaking him upside down like a coin purse. Gus wasn't evil, he wasn't edgy, he was just chaos in pants, and sometimes he didn't even wear pants. And we all loved him for it. The chaos part, not the no pants part. That caused problems. But that's the thing about a good-natured murder hobo. They can be hilarious. As long as everyone at the table is in on the joke and the tone allows for it, their antics become memorable highlights. Whether it's stealing a king's crown mid-conversation or using a bag of holding as a surprise attack. I don't even know how you would do that, but whatever. They bring absurdity that turns a serious moment into something everyone will be laughing about for years. Even better, they challenge the game master. Not maliciously, but in a way that says, "I see your carefully constructed plot, and I raise you a bar fight with the Archbishop." It keeps the tone light, the ego in check, and the game feeling like fun, which honestly is kind of the point. I must say though, all of these cases work best, and they only really work, if the murder hobo player doesn't steamroll the other players with their zany antics, murderous tendencies, and general pushiness. Those murder hobos are a problem, but if you can get the right kind of murder hobo, they can go a long way toward energizing a campaign and taking it in unexpected and very cool directions. But that's just what I think. Let us know in the comments what you think about murder hoboing. And don't forget to follow Feybound, Trickery of the Wilds at the link below. Get the biggest, baddest Fey-themed expansion for D&D 5e ever created. Now, if you'd like to learn why railroading is actually good, watch this video right here. And until next time, happy game mastering.